Jen, we can't hear you. I don't know if you're still there.
Yeah,
And
she's
for
there
joining
and we
us
cannot.
this evening, we are happy to. Sorry, I think I was kicked out for a second there. Kindly help make me a host so that I'm able to share my screen. Click here. Meanwhile, she does that.
You can share your screen.
All right. I'm still not able to see. Okay. Meanwhile, as you got the invite, we are going to be looking at interactive. Our topic today is interactive online project for language practice. Interactive. Thank you, Rukia. So allow me to share my screen there. Thank you. I hope you're able to see that. Are you able to see that?
Yes, we can see it clearly. Yeah, we can see it.
Thank you so much, Chair. So our topic today is interactive online project for language practice. I think for most of us, online classes became a reality to all of us when COVID hit back in 2020. And it's something that we know that is here with us. And I'm grateful for the American Embassy that has initially had online classes even before COVID hit through the open courses. So even as we continue as teachers, as professional English professionals, we are still going to have to do a lot of online classes, have our classes, virtual classes, aside the physical or the in-person classes. So today I want to share with you an interactive online project for language practice. As you can see there in my, sorry about that. We're going to look at the tips to boost interaction in an online lesson to develop learners' language skills. So I am a teacher of English and I teach young learners. And I believe also we have teachers of English here who teach both young learners and adult learners or the teenagers. And we are going to look at a few tips that will help us to boost our online classes. For young learners, when we have this kind of classes, young learners are quite active, and one of the ways that we can do this is to bring physical movement by asking a yes or no question. Of course, we're going to have the learners, of course, turn on their camera. I'm sorry, I'm not able to do that because my laptop has an issue at the moment, but kindly bear with me. I'm working also on that. So where we have the online classes where we ask our learners to turn on their camera, and as you ask these yes or no questions, instead of just typing yes or just replying with a voice note by saying yes, we can have the learners maybe wave, we can have the learners smiling, or we can have the learners standing up. You can ask a question like, do you like learning? Instead of the learner saying yes or no, you have them wave at you. They can use the they can either do it in person, or they can use the icons that are there, or the emojis that we normally have. In case they don't like swimming, they will not wave, so automatically that child does not like swimming. You can have them smile, or if they're not smiling, meaning they don't like that certain activity. Or you can have them stand up. If they like, they will stand up, and you are able to see from your screen. And this makes our learning more interactive and more interesting, especially for the young learners. Next is trying simple games like treasure hunts. This is something that we do in our physical classes, in our classrooms, but we can also do this in our own, even in an online class, where you can ask learners. Sorry, let me just move this. So you can ask learners to look for things in their home that are either green, big, old. Say, for example, you are teaching them about adjective. You can ask them, look around your home. Are there items that are green? And then they go looking for a green, maybe a book, or probably even a cup. And then use the items to construct a sentence. You can say, this is a big green cup, or you can talk about color, sizes, yes, all that. The other thing, apart from some of the activities that we can do with the young learners, we have having trouble moving to the next one. Yeah, for the older learners. For the older learner, one tip is cold calling. For example, instead of just waiting for the learners to raise their hands, you can have them, you can just call someone in random. For example, Ali, what do you think? From here, maybe I can give an example from the charts that we have. I don't know if Amy is here. Hi, Amy. Okay, maybe Evans, are you there? Maybe I can give an example with Fred, our chairman. Chairman, how are you?
Fine, thank you, Jen.
Yes, thank you so much, Chair. So you can have that cold calling where the learners are not expecting that you're going to call them. This is to probably now maybe you can engage everyone and making sure that every participant, even in a classroom, you have those learners who are just going to be quiet, and there are those who are super, super active. So with cold calling, you can have each and every participant involved by keeping them alert so that they can know, oh, I could be the one who is being called. Now, the other one is using breakout rooms. Breakout rooms give learners plenty of opportunities to talk and write. One activity done in a breakout room could be pyramid discussion, a pyramid discussion. And this is what I want us to look at today, how we can use pyramid discussion to make our online classes interactive. So I'll stop sharing for 1 minute. Just give me a minute. As we are, and we are going to go into breakout rooms. But before we go into breakout rooms, we are going to start with our first activity. And in our first activity, we are calling it eating. We are calling it eating activity. So we are going to look at, I'm sure maybe some of us are already at home, I'm assuming, but maybe others are on transit or maybe are still at the office. But if you are at home, I would like you to get something around your home, or if you have something maybe next to you that you can be able to eat, I would kindly ask you to take it and you eat something that you have, and hopefully it is something tasty. Then you're going to use 5 words or 5 phrases to describe the taste and the texture of what you have eaten or what you are eating. Alternatively, if you do not have something tasty, you can visualize it. You can visualize maybe something that you like eating. And as you visualize it, think about how it tastes. How heavy is it? How does it feel on your hands? Lift it to your face, smell it, and then take a bite. Then, in case you are not able to do that, I would like you to look at this picture here. I hope you're able to see my screen. Yes. It's a picture of a bowl of fruits there. There's an apple there. There are bananas there. There's a pear. There are oranges there. You can decide to pick one fruit there. Then think about how it feels, how it tastes, its color, and write 5 words and 5 phrases to describe what you have written. I hope I am clear
Yes.
about. Yes, thank you so much. So I'm giving you 2 minutes to eat and to write down what you have eaten, telling us and describing to us. I can't see the presentation. Okay, let me return back. Are you able to see it now?
Yes, we are.
Thank you so much. So I will kindly request Rukia to put the participants into groups. Let me see how many we are.
I was trying to check, but I see like we don't have an option for breakout rooms in this particular license.
Okay. So thank you. Let me see what we can do.
Or we could use the chat. They can chat. Type
Yes.
on the chat.
Yes. We can chat. You can write down what you have eaten and share with us 5 phrases and 5. or 5 words about what you have eaten. We have Fred, he's saying he's eating groundnuts. Nice, edible. We have Teresa there who is eating corned melon. Ooh, it's slimy and somehow tangy. Thank you. You can have more people share what they are eating. Evans Nyamai, I have eaten grapes, which are appetizing, scrumptious, yummy, juicy, and succulent. Thank you, Evans. So now since we do not have that option of going into breakout rooms, I want to encourage everyone to participate in the chats, because this is part of the pyramid discussion. So as much as possible, let us write on the chat. Let us side chat, yes. Let us continue chatting. So we have Khadija. Khadija, I am eating strawberries. Some are sweet, some are somehow, some are somehow bitter. Rough on the outside, but smooth in the inside. Thank you. We have Nancy. I was not eating but drinking. A cold but drinking. A cold soda, it's frizzy with bubbles, cold and refreshing, sweet with no aftertaste. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share what they have eaten? Anyone else? You can also put on your mic so that we can hear what you have eaten. You can raise your hand. So again, I'll just repeat the activity that we are doing. We are thinking of something that is tasty, and we are writing 5 things about what we have eaten. We could have eaten like real eating it, or visualizing it, or choosing from the bowl of fruits that I had shared on my screen there. So thank you very much for those who have been able to share what they have eaten. Oh, this Luceno. I have touched pepper. It's smooth, hot, appetizing, tantalizing, and leaves the mouth dripping and the mouthing sign. That is so interesting. Thank you, Luceno. I'm actually feeling what you've just said, despite not eating it. Anyone else? Okay, thank you very much. So we have just discussed by comparing what we have, what all of us have. So we have just compared our works, what we have eaten, and now we are going to move to the next activity. We're going to move to the next activity, and the next activity is rewrite below in 2 sentences. So these are jumbled words, and we want to make them into a sensible sentence. So we're going to write them in 2 words. So you can quickly type. Use and you rewrite them well. So the first one is, eat and have the ice box that I plums were in there. Probably for you were which breakfast saving and delicious forgive, so me cold, they sweet and so warm. So we can think about these 3 sentences and come up with a sensible sentence, 2 sensible sentences. You can type or we could chat, or you can put on your mic and share what you have come up with. Meanwhile, we have Robert. Robert has said, I have eaten omena, sauteed in something somewhat wrinkled little peppers, swimming in a cream sauce which harshness and bitter aftertaste were drowned in adila. Oof. I have eaten plums. Oh, that Nancy is replying to the sentences, creating a sensible sentence. I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox. Thank you, Nancy. We can also have people chat. Kindly turn on your mic. It would be nice. You can write it down at the side and then read for us what you have written. Lucina says, I have eaten plums that were in the icebox. Thank you. So remember, we are using the 3 sentences that are there and writing them into 2 sensible sentences. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. I hope everyone is able to see my screen.
Yes, we can see Jen.
Um, and I think I'll start calling people here now.
I agree with you,
Rujamila,
Jane.
I think. Sorry?
I agree with you. Start calling.
Yeah, I think I'll start calling people here now. We have, let me see, Judith. Hi, Daktari. How are you? Daktari, Judith.
Hi, but don't call me. I'm still settling.
Sawa sawa. I'm glad you're here.
I've just come in, so I'm still trying to follow what we are doing. So
Sawa
just give
sawa.
me a minute.
All right, thank you. Khadija, you've been with us since the beginning. Khadija,
Yes, I'm in the kitchen making iftar, but I can continue.
all right. Okay.
Khadija is ever punctual.
Can I try?
Okay.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Mhm. I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox. Pardon, wait a second.
No problem.
It has,
No problem.
I'm not writing, so it has just disappeared. Wait a second.
All right.
register for
Meanwhile, we can still have people chat. We only have one sentence. We have two more that are there that we need to remember. This is an interactive classroom, so we cannot continue if we are not interacting. Let's see who is here. We have Teresa, we have Robert.
The plans that were in the icebox, which
Ludia, Lillian. Hi, Lillian.
probably breakfast. So
Let's see, anyone else in the chat box? Thank you, Lillian. She has said, you are probably saving for breakfast. So we have the first two. I have
give me
eaten plums that were in the icebox. That was Luceno. And then Lily and Nancy had said, I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox. Then Lillian has said, you are probably saving for breakfast. Thank you.
the
Which you are
box.
probably saving for breakfast. Then Luceno has the last sentence. Oh, thank you for the replies, everyone. Says, forgive me, they were cold, so sweet, so delicious. Then we have Khadija, they were so delicious, so forgive me. Then you have Teresa says, maybe some are not eating or eaten, asking them what they plan to eat for supper or Easter. Now that's a good one. Oh, okay. I see.
I have a sentence now.
Yes. Thank you. Go ahead.
Forgive me, I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox,
All
which
right.
you are probably saving for breakfast. They were so sweet and delicious.
Thank you.
It's a long
Everyone has,
one though.
yes, everyone has done a good job. So, I'm just curious. Who do you think is the writer of these words based on what we have just read or what you have given? I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox and which you are probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me. They were so sweet and so cold. Who do you think the writers were? Thank you, Evans. Forgive me. They were so sweet and delicious. No problem. A child to a mother. God, thank you. Thank you. A child to a mother. Thank you, Judith. A husband to a wife. I agree. It's more likely. Anyone else? A friend to a host. Correct. Siblings. Yes. This could be siblings. And it could be a note that has been stuck on the fridge, right? Because they say that it's so cold and so delicious. Thank you. A house help to the boss. That's a possibility. Thank you so much for the replies.
I want to finish this one. This one I finished. This one.
It's okay.
No, I finished.
So actually, this, let me stop sharing my screen for a minute. So give me a minute. So thank you so much for the replies. This could be a note that has been written to somebody. They're probably living together and one person has eaten somebody's plums. But actually, this is this is actually a poem. This is actually a poem. Let me share my screen. And it says, this is just to say. This is just to say. So can I have someone reading for us? What the poem is about, or how the poem has been written, kindly. Someone says this is a nosy neighbor. Yeah, we have those ones.
Could we kindly maybe zoom in on our screen?
Okay, let me try sharing the whole. Is it visible now?
It's better.
Thank you for that. Yes, Lillian. Lillian, you want to go ahead and read for us?
Okay, yes, let me go on. This is just to say, I have eaten the plums that were in the ice box and which you are probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me, they were delicious, so sweet and so cold. William
Wow.
Carlos. Yeah,
Thank you so much. Yes. And the poem is it's called This Is Just to Say. Thank you so much. Thank you. Who would have thought that this is a poem? Anyone? Go back. Are you able to see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay. Sorry, it keeps moving. Yes, this is a poem. So I will have everyone look at the poem again. I'll share my screen and see how much can we remember of what the poem is saying. How much do we remember? So I'll share my screen again. I'll try to zoom in. Yeah, and let us look at the poem and read it. You don't have to have the microphone on, but just read it through. And then we are going to have a session where how much can you remember of the poem, and have someone to recite it for us. Are we ready? Do I start calling? Yes. Put the poem away. try to recall as much as you can. How much can you recall of the poem? Let us see. I'm about to start cold calling people now. I think I can remember this is just to say. What else can you remember?
I remember.
Thank you so much. Yes.
I have eaten ice cream in the ice box, from the ice box, and please forgive me, it was so cold.
Thank you for trying. Thank you. Nancy says it all evaporated.
Can I say what I remember?
Yes, please. Thank you.
This is just to say that I've eaten the plums that were in the icebox. I know probably you are saving them for breakfast. Forgive me. They were so delicious, sweet, and so cold.
Thank you. Wow. We can give you a 7 there out of 10. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, thanks.
Anyone else wants
Well,
to? Yes.
on my end, I can remember the tangible aspects of it, the feelings, that is the sweet part, delicious, and it being quite cold. Those still stick out for me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Anyone else? We have a chat here. Ivan says, this is just to say I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox. At least we remember the name and we remember where they were. Anyone else before we move to the next part?
Hi, Jane.
Hi.
Okay, can I give it a try?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, this is just to say I have eaten the plums that were in the ice box.
Yes.
And which you are probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me, they were so delicious, so sweet, and cold.
Thank you very much. Good job. We have another chat here. Roger says, forgive me, I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox, which you were probably saving for breakfast. They were so delicious and so sweet. Wow. Okay, let's see how much, let's go back. So we had someone who remembered what they ate. These are the plums. Of course, they were in the icebox box. The person was saving them for breakfast. They were delicious, so sweet, and so cold. Good job, everyone. Thank you so much for that. So we're going to go to the next activity. Remember the 5 words that you wrote in the beginning? I know some of you are fasting. I am sorry for engaging you in this activity. But maybe we could look back at what you once ate or what you're going to eat. So the 5 words or the 5 phrases that you wrote at the beginning. So we are going to substitute the plums with the food that you thought or the food that you have eaten. Substitute the adjective from the poem with yours. Remember the adjective you used, and make any other necessary changes. Then compare the new poem. I hope I'm clear. So at the beginning of this session, we visualized, we ate a certain type of food. Some ate pepper, some omena. What else? Let me see what we ate here. Groundnuts. I remember Fred ate some groundnuts. Someone ate some grapes, some strawberries. Someone who drank a soda. So, what else? Yes, I think that is what I got from the chat. So, I hope you have a pen and a pencil or something, some place to write. Now, we want to substitute the plums from the poem here. So you're going to substitute the name of the food. You are going to substitute the adjectives that were used to describe the plums there, and then you're going to add your own on your own. And if there's any other change that you'd like to make, you can also make. Then we are going to compare the two poems by William Carroll and ELPAK members. So we can go ahead and do that. I hope I'm clear on that. In case you are not able to do the activity at the beginning, you can do, the activity was think about something or eat something, then write 5 words or 5 phrases about what you have eaten. Someone says, can you kindly project the, is it visible from your screen? Because I thought I'm sharing it. Are you able to see everyone? Or do I zoom it in?
Yeah, zoom in a bit, yeah.
All right, thank you. I hope that's clear for everyone. So can I, the instructions are, we are going to use, let me go back again. We want to make our own poems, and the poem that we are making, we are going to use the same structure that we have from the poem by William Carroll. So the poem is, this is just to say, but now we want you yourself to make your own poem. And how are we going to do this? You are going to screen. So at the beginning of the session, we started by, oh no, sorry about that. I went to the end there. There you go. The instructions are there. So you substitute the plums with your own food, substitute the adjectives from the poem with yours, and then make any other necessary changes. And then you compare the two poems. I hope that's clear now. So I'll go back again to the poem. You need to make any changes. Yeah. I hope yours comes with also a topic like this one. There you go. Hope that's clear. And once you're ready, you can...
I'm ready.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me see the participants. Yes, Khadija, please go ahead.
Okay. This is just to say, I have eaten the strawberries that
I think
and which you pardon me, they were and so-called. Oh, sorry, network issues. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, you're you're audible enough. Thank you.
This is just to say, I have eaten the strawberries that were in the ice box, and which you were probably saving for breakfast. Pardon me, they were tasty, so
Tasty.
sugary, so cold.
Wow, thank you so much, Khadija. Thank you. Let's have Lillian.
Okay, thank you. The title of the poem is still, this is just to say. This is just to say, I have eaten the rice that was in the hot pot,
Yeah.
and which you are probably saving for supper. Forgive me, it was delish, so flavorsome, and so appetizing. By Lillian Mandela. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Nancy?
Okay. The title also remains the same. This is just to say, I have drunk the soda that was in the ice box and which you were probably saving for your afternoon tea. Forgive me, it was fizzy with bubbles, light on the tongue, and oh so cold.
Wow, thank you. Anyone else? Thank you so much. They were all awesome.
Yes, I have one.
Yes, please.
My title is Oh Dear Me.
Oh dear me, woo.
This is just to say, I have eaten the fried fish that were in the pan and which probably saving for the visitors. Forgive me, they were so tantalizing, so tasty, and so crispy.
Wow. Thank you. For the visitors, too bad for the visitors. That was a fun one. Anyone? Let's see. Do I start calling? We want a gentleman now. And we have several gentlemen here.
Oh, can I try?
Yes, please.
The title remains the same. So this is just to say, I have eaten the eggs that were in the tray and which you were perhaps saving for dinner. Forgive me, they were so yummy and crumpy.
Thank you. I think there's a chat here. Luceno says, this is just to say, I touched pepper. Let me have. Rukia, would you mind kindly reading for me? It's hard to, oh, I can do it. Luceno says, this is just to say.
Jen, you want me to help where?
I think I'm able now,
Okay,
but kindly ask. Yeah, thank you. This is just to say, I touched pepper. It was smooth to touch. When I ate it, it was hot, appetizing, and tantalizing, but it left my nose dripping and my mouth sighing. Wonderful, thank you. Wow, look at that. Anyone else before we move to the next thing? Anyone else? So that was amazing. That was amazing. Thank you so much for your participation. So this is an activity that you can do with the learners in your classroom, in an online, both in the classroom and also in an online classroom, quoted quote. It was amazing. You'd be amazed at what the learners, and this is also, you're able to test how much the learners are able to use adjectives, depending on any language practice you want to, any language structure that you want to test with your learners and also practice. So in the next lesson, you can ask the learners to repeat what you have learned in this lesson that you have just done. Now that is mean after this lesson you have done, you can ask the learners to repeat the same thing by writing the wrong version of the poem and asking learners to spot the mistakes and discuss differences in the meaning. For example, I eat, or you can say I have eaten. They can also state the differences like very much, very sweet instead of so sweet. So simply ask the students to write out the poems in pairs, groups, or from memory. So this is one of the activities that you can be able to do with the learners. Anyone with a question so far? Anyone? So you can use this activity, which is called pyramid discussion. We call this activity, we were supposed to move into breakout rooms, but we were not able to do that. But learners are supposed to work in pairs and in small groups, and eventually come as they agree on a certain subject, they join with the other group and discuss more until the whole class is able to participate, and that we call pyramid discussion. So a pyramid discussion is a speaking activity where learners form progressively larger groups as they carry out a speaking task, which normally requires each grouping to reach an agreement before joining another group. So in small groups, the learners have to agree on the most important of the 5 senses. They then join with another group and they have to agree again and so on until the whole class is involved in the discussion. So pyramid discussions are useful for practicing a range of functions, including agreeing and disagreeing. We have negotiating, summarizing, and putting forward an argument. So you can use this discussion or this method to, if you have certain activities that you want the learners to summarize, probably a comprehension, the learners can start in small groups. Then after they agree in those small groups, join with another group, they have to agree. Then the whole class at large, they have to finally agree on summarizing a certain comprehension or a certain test set book that they have or they are doing, or putting forward an argument. It's also a very good method when you are doing literature in the classroom. So thank you so much. This has been a very interesting class. Thank you so much. You are good, funny and interesting participants. I want to give it over now to Rukia, and thank you.
Thanks, Jen. There's a question in the chat. Someone is asking, how do we execute this in a physical face-to-face class?
So it's still the same thing. Thank you, Lucena, for the question. Again, I think I have explained where you put learners into small groups. Like in the classroom, they can be in pairs. They then eventually in those pairs, they discuss something, they have to agree, and then they come together into a much bigger group, have something they can discuss. Then eventually, by the time you're done and everyone has agreed as a classroom to be able to, they have agreed on exactly what you're trying to test. But again, it starts with small groups, making them bigger and bigger and bigger progressively. Yeah, just the way we have done it here. Only that we didn't have the small groups, but would have come back, gone into a group, discuss, then come back, agree this is what we discussed. For example, I would give when we were talking about, we were trying to put the jumbled words together to form a sensible sentence. So we would have had different groups come up with their own sentences, and until we finally agree on one sentence, then we and correct each other. Oh, this is where you went wrong. This is, you should have used this instead of this. Why? Because, for example, an adjective describes a noun. Learners have to give those reasons so that they can agree. This is why we are going to make this sentence, and this is how this sentence will become more sensible when we do this and this. So yeah, I hope I have answered your question. Yes.
Thanks, Jen. That was an interactive and interesting question. I'm assuming maybe there are no more questions. So I want to thank everyone for joining, and I can give the chair also to just give his final comments if he's around.
Thank you, Kia. Before I give my comments, perhaps I can give Austin a chance maybe to greet us. We have not seen him for a while. Austin.
I think Austin left. By the time he was here, he was in a busy place. But I can't see him.
Oh. Okay, so what I wanted maybe to say is what you echoed at the beginning. We've been running this series as ELPAK team, and I think we've done it, about 4 or 5 of us. I think it's only one person remaining. And now we are calling upon the other members maybe who are interested to get in touch with Rukia so that we can organize a session for them. I think there was an interest from one of us who is here, but you can get in touch with Rukia. There are the professional development courses that at least we are running virtually because it's not easy to meet face to face. But I thank those who have been consistent in this platform and the other ELF forum. Thank you very much for the partnership and cooperating and learning and sharing. So in case there's anything, you know how to contact us through email, through our WhatsApp, through any other forum. So thank you very much. The next one, Rukia will guide us. And then I would also like to thank the American Embassy, especially the space at Moi, for organizing this and allowing us to use this. I think this is live in the Facebook, Rukia, if I'm not wrong. And it's
We didn't
recorded.
go live. Some technical reasons, but we are recording it and we shall share the link of the YouTube.
Yes, yeah. I think that's also what I wanted to say, and maybe if people have questions, probably they can ask out of this. They can chat with us in the other walls, the other forums that we normally share with them. Thank you very much for attendance and participation. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye, and have a nice evening.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Rukia.
Most welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.